Fox News alert. This just in, a new tweet from the president. To all those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. For all those who have asked, the president wrote just a few moments ago, since he has been back on Twitter. He was banned, as you know, temporarily. He has tweeted a couple times this morning. That is the latest from the president on that. And this, of course, in the middle of Democrats now vowing impeachment of the president before that day even happens. So this is the latest in that developing story, as the president and his team have been asked repeatedly whether or not he would attend the Biden inauguration. And the answer is now in, Trace, with the president saying very definitively that he will not be going.
Yeah, and we're waiting for more on that, too, wondering why he exactly is not going, because it was a question for a long time. People were thinking, look, I mean, it's unprecedented, right? I mean, the presidents go to the inaugurations. They're the ones that kind of hand the baton, so to speak. And we're waiting for a little bit more of an explainer on exactly what the decision is based on. Is it based on, you know, the fact that he still believes the election is contested, or is it based on something else? I mean, that's kind of the key here that people are focused on, is the reasoning. We know he's not going, and now the next step in this process is to figure out exactly why, Sandra.
Really interesting. I just called our Capitol Hill producer, our congressional correspondent, I should say, Chad Pergram on the Hill, to ask him for some historical background on the last time that a president did not attend inauguration in the transition, obviously. And because, of course, we'll have to look back in history to see when the last time that would have happened. A lot of this is just in unprecedented territory, Trace, as we continue to cover what has been a remarkable several days for this country. We'll find out what more we learn on that. But Trace, I did say that this is happening in the context of he may not make it to that day, of course, because of growing calls now from Democrats and even some Republicans for him to be removed from office before Inauguration Day.
But as John Roberts made clear earlier, you know, they're kind of running up against the clock. We're talking about 12 days before the inauguration. And if this impeachment movement was to go forward, it would have to go forward at breakneck speed. You know, you'd have to get Republicans on board. You know, Nancy Pelosi has already indicated that she's willing to be on board, but you have to make sure you have Republicans on board. Otherwise, you're facing the same kind of deal that they faced during the last impeachment attempt, which was you just don't have the support to bring it to fruition. And you're running up against the clock, 12 days, and people are also concerned about getting some other stuff done in Congress before they, you know, take this thing up. Just
to give you an idea of some of the things that Democrats are saying about this, Adam Schiff notably saying this morning, 10:20 a.m., that Donald Trump's a danger to the Republic, should be removed from office immediately by impeachment, resignation, or invoking the 25th Amendment. He said that Democrats warned during Trump's impeachment that he would try to cheat to remain in office. He lit the fuse, which exploded on Wednesday at the Capitol, said Adam Schiff a few moments ago. Obviously a frequent critic of this president. We await more information on this, but Trace, President Trump, the news just in, he will not attend the inauguration.
And it's interesting because we've spent a lot of time in this program over the past couple of hours, Sandra, talking about the impact the president will have once he leaves office. And, you know, you had the former National Security Advisor John Bolton weighing in, saying, you know, who was a strong ally of the president before he became a detractor of the president. He weighed in saying, look, once the president gets back to Mar-a-Lago, he's sitting there in Mar-a-Lago, it's not the same thing as sitting in the Oval Office. And so when the president's in Mar-a-Lago, he will not have nearly the same influence on his party that he has right now. But then you have others saying, well, some of that influence is being kind of whittled away here because of some of the events over the past couple of days. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how that transpires.
This just in, as far as some historical precedent for this happening, our own John Roberts just sending out that President Trump will be the 4th president to not attend his successor's inauguration. The others were John Adams, John Quincy Adams, and Andrew Johnson. So not unprecedented, but hasn't happened since 1873. We're trying to get John Roberts up from at the White House for us on this breaking news, Trace, as it comes in.
You know, you showed the picture of Barack Obama, the former president, and Donald Trump just now. And, you know, you go back to the controversy involving President Trump and the heat that he has gotten from the media. And this goes all the way back to the inauguration in 2016 when the president was talking about crowd size. And from crowd size, it just kind of morphed into this snowball of 4 years of, you know, this harsh criticism from the media. And, you know, you kind of look at these pictures here of the president and Joe Biden. We talk about how it's been just, you know, it's been standard operating procedure for former presidents and vice presidents to attend the inauguration of the incoming president. And you have these pictures here. But if you go back and you look at the controversies involving President Trump, it started really, you know, in earnest on the day of the inauguration over the crowd size that he disputed.